I was a manager at one of the big chains, grocery store, and one of my employees, a part-timer, was a DJ. And he came to me and said, oh, these guys are making so much money doing parties. This is about 1983. And I said, well, I said, what's it about? And he said, they're renting these big halls and get the sound system, and he's a DJ and blah, blah, blah. He's going through that whole thing. And I'm more of a marketing guy and, straight business. And so I went out there. He showed me a flyer. He had his name on it. So I said, well, I'll go to one of your little events that you're DJing at. Went to it, saw what it was about. I'm doing math. How much money, how much these kids are paying to get in and everything. And I said, well, anybody can do that. He said, no, they got this sold up. They got it sold up. So I just went out, did a little research, found out this is back in the day when they used to wire and hang posters and, street hustle. And I said, and I did it like a business. I said, I can go out down to Indiana, pick up these posters, go to the print shop at the time, where everybody else was going. I did a budget. I did it and I put it together. And from the first time on, they made money. I said, this is real easy. And this was just before the house music thing started up, because the house acts didn't start up till around 85. And so I was looking at the hip hop thing then. And they had the Roxy in New York. And this is when the whole break dancing and the Beat Street and the breaking things were coming out. So I get on a plane, fly to New York. Now I'm already a manager. I'm making good money doing what I do. So this is like a sideline. And I went out there and I went to the Bronx. Now I rented a Lincoln Continental. I'm driving around in the Bronx, and then back then, it looked like a bomb. Just blew up around there. And I got the chance to meet some of the people. The groundwork, the people in the beginning of the whole hip hop thing. And and when I went to the Roxy and I saw what they did, and I saw this whole thing was a skating rink. So I brought it back. That same concept, I said, I can do this in Chicago at the place at the time, which was the Rainbow. It was a skating rink. And I was a roller skater, and I did that, and I was doing skating. I started doing skating parties and stuff alike. But this, I said, now this dance thing is intriguing. But out there, they had stars. They had, the whole thing going on, and all the hip hop artists were coming along. But this was the early infancy. This is when I think I rented the Rainbow. First act I hired was Roxanne Shante. I think she was 14 years old. I think I paid her $1,000 or $750. Her mother, I think her mother came with her. It's so long ago. This has got to be 84. And immediately these things started making money. And I did Roxanne Shante, I think it was UTFO. I did a co-promo when they did the Fresh Fest. They did the Run DMC, and these were all. This is when all these people were kids then. When I did Run, the funny story I tell about the Run DMC thing is I was just a co-promoter. I think it was, I forgot who bought out the tour. And they wanted a local Chicago guy to help, because you got to know the streets. And so I came in and did my thing. And I remember when they came into the venue, this is at the UIC Pavilion, holds about 10,000 people, and sold out. And they showed up, and I remember Jam Master Jay goes to Run. He goes, no, not Run. Who did he go? DMC. He said, dude, did you get my records? They came in a cab. They didn't want to wait for the limo. They jumped in a cab and came to the venue. He said, do I look like your N-word? He said, He said, no. And then so the cab driver had drove off. So he had no records. And this is back in the day, they used records. That was the track to the show. And, so I had my DJ, which was a DJ called Eric the Wizard. I had him go to his house, get the records, I said, grab any Run DMC records that you have, and he brought it back. And I remember he did that show, Jam Master Jay did that show, no, the records weren't marked or anything, and without a hitch. I mean, boom, bam. But this was the whole New York thing, and the show was on point. But everything was raw back then. I did the Fat Boys Wipeout tour and everything else. But doing all of this thing, when all this other stuff was going along, my other DJs at the club, I was doing Rainbow every Saturday night. Young kids, packed house every Saturday. And I quit my job, 14 years working at a chain. But I said, I want to do this because I was making 4 and 5 times. And I was making good money, profit sharing, the whole thing. But I was making 4 and 5 times the amount doing these shows. So I took a chance and said, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen while I'm young. I can do this. And so I went. And my DJs were 2 guys was Rick Lenore, Rick the King Lenore at this time, and Larry Amazing Thompson. And this is when all the house music thing was starting up.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.
Hey, baby girl, what's that you eating?
Barbecue turkey ribs.
Turkey ribs? The turkey ain't got no ribs.
Just turkey does. They have turkey ribs, tips, burgers, even turkey lasagna. They have turkey everything.
You want to trade?
No way. It tastes too good and is way healthier than what you have in that greasy brown bag.
Turkey's healthier?
Yeah, it has less fat and grills to perfection with their special sauce.
Okay, just one bite.
No, they have locations everywhere. Go get your own.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.
They were young guys, just out of high school type, and they started working with records. I remember him going to buy the 808 machine, and he was telling me, "Oh, this is it right here. This is going to be it. He's going to make music and everything." I said, "Well, go make music," and he would bring these tracks into the club. But he made the house anthems that are known now. It's "Work It to the Bones," "Work It to the Bone," and "You Can't Stop the House." Next thing you know, I got to hire some other DJs because all of a sudden these guys are in Europe doing shows, So I got to get some other kids. But the house music, I have videos of some of it, J.M. Silk and Marshall Jefferson and all of them. Their first shows were with me. They were coming because I had a place that was doing kids that was multiracial. Chicago is a segregated city. The downtown clubs, you don't see anything black happening, and anything ethnic you don't see happening. And but I did everybody and everything, and so the house music thing. What I remember about the early stages of that with Marshall Jefferson, house music all night long, biggest record in house music history. I remember them showing up for that show, and everybody's charged up, getting heavy radio play and everything else. and they showed up in these sequin jackets, looking like the Temptations. But they get up there, they start the track, and they started doing these Temptation moves, and they were singing the song. And what I realized is there was no template for this thing. People were doing what they knew. And this was so raw and so young, so that's what they did. Their parents grew up, or they grew up listening to the 60s, and this is what they saw on TV, and so this is what they did. I remember Jesse Saunders, one of the originators in house music. He showed up, and I remember we were doing a show, and I had him, booked him and said, "You gonna do a show?" He shows up dressed like Prince. He had a lace thing and a glove, and I'm going, but that's what it was. And they were all young, and it was so raw, but the music was banging, though. And they learned. I mean, everybody get their own identity later, but like I said, there was no template for this thing. They were just out here. Everybody was doing what they know. All of my DJs have had success as producers, and Mike Hitman Wilson, him with the Sean Christopher projects that he did and everything. But I went from the Rainbow, and I had a club called the Riv. The Rainbow was in the 80s. The Riv was the 90s. See, with the Riv, I did everything now. We played house music for dancing, but I hired everybody. I would have anybody from Public Enemy to Tone Loc to straight up dance stuff like the freestyle artists like the George Lamons and the TKA. So I had the Latin stuff, and I had the straight up hip hop. I did like Samantha Fox, the straight up pop stuff. Didn't matter. The Rib was the Rib. It was a concert, so I would do this. Initially, when I went in there, I did the Sunday night dance party. It was Sunday nights. They didn't have nothing going on Sunday nights. I get the room cheap, and I was packing that SOB. 2,000, 2,500 people on a Sunday night every week, and it was crazy.
Sunday night dance party?
Yep.
That was broadcast, right?
I did some live broadcasts, but I did the Sundays, and because I learned from the people in Europe, they were doing Mondays, they were doing Sundays, and I said, well, less beaten path. Everybody was fighting for Saturday nights and stuff. I said, I'll do this. It's a great venue. They had ran their course. See, they opened up in the early 80s, 86, I think it was. I was still doing Rainbow, which was only 2 blocks away. But I was doing my kid thing over there. They were doing the adult. But with most Anglo clubs, they would last 4 or 5 years. They lose their mystique, and then when they start struggling, then they call people like me, promoters, to come in and fill in the gap. And when I got the call to go over there, I said it's a better venue, because the skating rink, no matter, even though it was big and great parties and stuff, it still was. Had to bring in a stage to do a show. And it was like a job putting those shows on. This, I had a fixed stage. I had a built-in. I could lease out a sound system and do everything, and they had a built-in light show. It was great. So I said, I want to do this, easy. And so when I went over there, I did it with them from 89, 90, 91. I think it was like 3 or 4 years, up to like 92. Packed, going crazy. It was a great time. So I was stuck. I had Boys to Men live coming for New Year's Eve, live on CBS. Going to be filmed live at the club. I set up that deal with the radio station and the TV station, because CBS was a part of B96 at the time. And so I said, man, I got to figure out what to do with this. And then I said, the China Club had opened up, but they were struggling. 3,500 square foot club, 35,000, square foot club. But it was like they were trying to be a high-end club with 35,000 square feet. you can't, that's a lot of space. And it's 3 levels. It was a beautiful place. So I had to move this show. So I cut a deal to move the show over to because the feds they were going to shut down the Riviera, the whole operation. So I moved the show. I cut a deal, moved the show, sold out shows. Or sold out show, did it live there. And I cut a great deal for me. I said I'll take over Thursday nights because Thursday night was big at a club down the street called The Shelter. I'll come in. I wanted a night that was totally dead over at his place, that I could cut a deal on the bar and the whole thing, and I could prove myself. And I think the first night I brought in Right Said Fred. Remember that gimmick song, I'm Too Sexy For? Yeah. Everybody laughed. They said, well, and I said, no, I got a finger on the pulse. I know what people want. I went to Elite Models, got a bunch of models to come out, compliment them, drink, and then did the show. Packed house. I said, and they wonder. I said, dude, you guys do parties for you. I do parties for the people. Whatever they want, I don't care. If they want polka, I'll do that. It doesn't matter to me. And I said, what I listen to in my car or at home is for me. But this, I don't pay to get into my own clubs. So what I moved it on to, and that went crazy. I mean, it was nuts. Next thing I know, they asked me to do Fridays, then they asked me to do Saturdays, and then I was doing it all of the nights. But I have my buddy Michael Yerke was doing the Rock Room. They had the Dragon Room, which is considered the Rock Room, and he's now running operations for all of the House of Blues across the whole United States. And he was doing that room, and I told him, this is a great eclectic mix. I mean, we'd have all the stars would show up. I remember seeing Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan was, our VIP room was a real VIP room. You'd have Madonna, you'd have Michael Jordan, you'd have Oprah Winfrey.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.
Hey, baby girl, what's that you eating?
Barbecue turkey ribs.
Turkey ribs? The turkey ain't got no ribs.
Just turkey does. They have turkey ribs, tips, burgers, even turkey lasagna. They have turkey everything.
You want to trade?
No way. It tastes too good and is way healthier than what you have in that greasy brown bag.
Turkey's healthier?
Yeah, it has less fat and grills to perfection with their special sauce.
Okay, just one bite.
No, they have locations everywhere. Go get your own.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.
The most fun I had was the China Club. China Club was the bomb. We had the stars. We had every genre of music. This was that whole scene that I talk about, and it could work now. See, that thing closed was not my doing. I mean, the tax thing, that was out of my. China Club could be working right now. China Club had a restaurant in it. It had a record store in the club. It had a Rose Records, and it had you could sit there and you could eat like burgers and stuff at night, or you could get breakfast, you could get all this kind of stuff, and then all the acts loved it. I remember Ice Cube, he came in there. We had like a game room. He played the Terminator game for like 3 and 4 hours and stuff, and we would have. I would be in there. I remember going to step out of my office and have like MC Hammer out there playing pool, Oliver Stone, Charles Barkley. It was just so many, and it was so fun because everybody was everybody. I remember all the Bulls used to show up all the time. During the playoffs, Charles Barkley was in the DJ booth. Hitman was DJing. And it was Charles Barkley was in there and Chris Rock. Chris Rock was up there with him. He goes, man, he said, do you got my record? Chris Rock, remember he had the CB40 or GB? Yeah. He said, you got my record? And he goes, and so Chuck looked at Hitman and told him, he said, man, don't nobody want to hear that. He go, play some Janet Jackson. He started doing like Cabbage Patch and stuff. It was always like that. I mean, we had groups like Cypress Hill and Naughty by Nature. We had everybody in there. And we had the house. It was just, it was everything. And that's what I loved about that. I loved the early stages at the Rainbow, starting with all of the guys when they were young, the house music acts. I loved doing the young hip hop acts when they were just, nobody knew who they were, or they knew who they were, and I would get them to come in. I brought the New York City Breakers in. These guys that just did the movie, they were all broke kids and stuff. I got a bus from New York, brought them all back here, and because that's what the breaking thing was big, and brought them in here. And I remember we had to get them out of jail in Indiana because they're young kids. You get them a hotel room, and they go to a hardware store and start stealing spray paint, So I said, oh, dumb, shoplifting. But anyway, they get to the club, and these guys were dancing their ass off, and it was just, I mean, this is what I do. I prefer doing the younger stuff because they are just fun. I mean, the kids love it. Everybody hates the teen party. There's a lot of money in it, and two, not even the money, it's the energy you get from the kids. You get a lot of energy, and it never, you always got a fresh crop of more kids coming in. One thing about the older crowds is they age out. They always age out, and that's why you start doing the retro parties. Boy, I survived because I kept doing the young parties. Nitro was 17 and older. The real one, the nights that I did was 17 and older. Rainbow was 17 and older. It was always 21 and up to drink. Always separated drinking areas, because that's what always worked for me. But I was always doing 2,000, 3,000 people crowds though. I wasn't doing the lounge and 100, 200 people. $500 bottles. That's cool. That is a beautiful thing. That's probably how I would like to party for me. But if I want to make money and I want to have, you see this energy you get from him, he shows, I got videos of that stuff. It's crazy. Really? Unreal. I don't want to say like I'm tooting my horn and all this other kind of stuff. So I said, dude, I just do me. I do me and kind of do my thing. I was there in the beginning. I was able to see the beginning of hip hop, the beginning of house, and all of it's a beautiful thing. Beginning of freestyle music, the Latin stuff, all of them, all the kids. I mean, everybody that's grown now, they all came. I remember seeing Lisa when she saw me again. I didn't think she would remember me. She goes, oh man, I saw it was like 20 years removed. What a shoot, might have been 30 years, shit. That I did, it was 85 or 86 that I did a show with her. And then, that was about 85, 95, shit. It was almost 30, it was 30 years. And she remembered it. And I said, because she was like a young, cute little thing then. And then she was doing another show, a friend of mine had hired her. And I said, well, I'll go over there and see it. They did the thing at the Portage Theater or something. And she remembered it. And because I was always doing their first show, first time ever being in Chicago. I did the last Tupac show in Chicago. Yep, nicest guy. Everybody, all these people get these whole mystique about everybody's just human, Tupac's the nicest guy in the world, and he didn't even want to. His manager was counting a little because he could get paid like $10,000 or something. His remaining balance, he's counting the hundreds real. So he said, "Man, don't. It's all there, right?" He said, "Yeah, it's there." But like I said, I'll keep going on because he remembers meeting me when he was with Digital Digital Underground. They were opening for Public Enemy, and so he was sitting off in the corner. He had to be a teenager then. And I said, "You remember?" He said, "Yeah, I remember." And I said, "But you never know that you're in the middle of history because you're just in the middle of life. You're just doing your thing." But I was there right alongside all of this stuff. But it's a good life. It's a good life.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.
Hey, baby girl, what's that you eating?
Barbecue turkey ribs.
Turkey ribs? The turkey ain't got no ribs.
Just Turkey does. They have turkey ribs, tips, burgers, even turkey lasagna. They have turkey everything.
You want to trade?
No way. It tastes too good and is way healthier than what you have in that greasy brown bag.
Turkey's healthier?
Yeah, it has less fat and grills to perfection with their special sauce.
Okay, just one bite.
No, they have locations everywhere. Go get your own.
Any way you cut it, grill it, smoke it. You've never seen turkey like this before. Get ready for Just Turkey's famous barbecue turkey ribs and tips. The butter-crusted turkey burger, turkey tacos, legs, salads, wraps, and more. We're serving up healthier choices for the foods you love. Only at Just Turkey. Turkey's all we do. That's why we do it better. Learn more at originalJustTurkey.com.